Hey, Chef Brian with Monogram and the Monogram Experience Center here. Joe and I have talked for years about doing a chef's roundtable where we get some cooks together and we talk about ingredients and cooking and any other thing we want to talk about. And we are excited. We have the 4 Monogram chefs here today. So I have Ria Rueda from the Design Center in Connecticut. Joe is from the Monogram Experience Center with me in Louisville, Kentucky. And we have Jon from the Design Center in Chicago. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, guys.
So I want to kick this off with what is probably my favorite ingredient. I know it's Joe's favorite ingredient is salt, right? And just kind of get our thoughts on that. So Ria, why don't you kick us off here? What's your kind of thoughts about salt and cooking?
I love using just regular kosher salt, love seasoning my steaks with lots of salt. And I don't, and I love Maldon salt for just the finishing. That's my favorite. If I do also want a salty touch, I also like fish sauce. Sneak that in as my umami.
Very nice. Jon, give me your thoughts on some salt.
Wow, I mean, what a broad topic too, because not only in the flavor profile of salt, where it is the world's only natural flavor enhancer, and then when we start looking at it at a microscopic level of all the different Himalayan, Black Sea salts, French salts, and the different minerality components of them, it's very cool because we can start layering in salts based on the dishes that we're cooking to pick up on some of those minerals. So not only in the flavor, but I think the properties that we use to extract moisture with it, adding a couple of teaspoons of salt just to beans helps them cook quicker. So there's so many cool ideas that we can introduce salt into cooking outside of the flavor profile, but definitely flavor profile, crunchiness, that's where it's at with the salt. And if I had to stick to one, maybe a pink Himalayan or a nice, really flaky French salt is always good for me.
Very nice. All right, Joe, give me your thoughts on salt.
Well, Brian, I grew up in a home, we didn't use salt. I couldn't have told you where it was in the cupboard. My dad was Filipino. So, I grew up with very bland food, and I thought it was great. It was great. We ate well. But, once I started to use it, when I became a cook and I learned the value of what a little bit can do, it changed my life. And, when you look back at the history, it's so cool. It goes back to religious ceremonies. It goes back to just simple preserving. But, it's just an enhancer, and it's essential to our lives. So I think it's cool to have around, and I'm glad I discovered it probably about 1984, going back a little bit there.
Well, my thoughts are, we explain to our guests at the Experience Center a lot about salt because they always worry. It's like, oh my gosh, I'd never use this much salt. And, we tell them the biggest thing, it gets a bad rap. We consume too much salt in our diet, right? But they say the majority of it, about 75% of what we get is not coming from what we're cooking at home. It's coming from things we get out, snacks, convenience foods, drinks, loaded with sodium. So we tend to under-season at home, and our food suffers for it because salt has a major role in cooking, and it's there to enhance flavor. Without it, your food is just going to taste flat. So you got to add a little more salt. Not too much. You don't want to be tasting a lot of salt in most dishes, but you want to add enough to bring out the flavor. And so salt is our friend, especially when we're cooking. Good thoughts, everybody.
I love salt as my friend. That's pretty good. Never thought of it that way, but it's true. Everything, all of you guys. That's so cool to have a foursome here and giving our input like that. I appreciate it.
I agree. I think there's some great different angles on what do we all think, and I know we all share common beliefs on salt, but as something that we've cooked with so often, it's so cool to still dig in deeper and really look into what it is, because there's just so much to learn about it. What it is, I think it's the only rock that we eat, right?
Yeah. Well, on purpose anyway, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
But I agree. I think that at times I tend to under-season too, because for dietary reasons for some people, I don't know, for whatever reason, my palate, they say that it changes every 10 years. And I think as I get older, I'm a little bit more sensitive to it. But like I said earlier, I'll somehow sneak it in, whether it's soy sauce, fish sauce, anchovies, something. It just brightens up a dish a little bit more.
It really makes it go.
All right.
Absolutely.